So I have to be honest, I'm not really sure what to say here, because I don't know what people are expecting me to say. People were asking my opinion yesterday, and I wanted to have this video up yesterday as well. Just ran out of time, so I'm already late to the party. But on a day where you had 2 new captains named in Arizona and in Carolina, on a day where Tyler Seguin signs a phenomenal deal, and on that topic really quickly, Stars fans be pumped. Tyler Seguin, 8 years, under $10 million. He makes less than Jack Eichel, and that's not a shot at Jack Eichel, but god damn, that's a hell of a contract for Dallas. If Ben Bishop can work things out, the defense comes along. Dallas, I mean, granted, you're in a very tough Western Conference, but it should be looking good. We get this trade to really highlight the day, and it's one of the 2 trades that we knew would probably happen all throughout the summer. Max Pacioretty went a few days ago to Vegas. The debate on the return there, you know, I mean, again, my argument was Marc Bergevin doesn't exactly deserve credit for rebuilding the bridge that he destroyed. But then you have this, where did we expect anything more? Did we expect Ottawa to get a bigger return? A Pierre Dorion run, Eugene Melnyk funded team. Did we really expect anything more? And I'm sorry for Sens fans. I mean, in terms of a positive spin, you can put one on it if you want, and I really feel like the Reddit thread here kind of sums it up well because of all the conditions on some of those picks, or on all of those picks. What do you want me to say? It is, by far, one of the worst trades in NHL history, on paper, at the moment. At least in recent memory, maybe in history, we will find out. It's one of the biggest trades in recent memory, at the very least. Erik Karlsson is a San Jose Shark. And I talked to my old buddy Sin for the Win Productions on YouTube, by the way. Check him out if you haven't. Who is a Sharks fan. We were playing some EASHL games, and we got into talking about, man, they got to have something planned, right? They have to. The Sharks still have all that cap space. You didn't get Tavares. You didn't get the trade for Pacioretty. You didn't get Kovalchuk. Something's got to happen. And it did. And for the Sharks, you look at that defense, Burns, Vlasic, it puts them, like, they were already here, right? I don't know if they were in Winnipeg, Nashville, maybe even Vegas territory as, like, the favorites, but they were a contender to come out of the West. They're right up there in that top echelon now. There's no doubt about it. And to not have to give up any of their top-notch prospects, to not have to give up the likes of Timo Meier in this deal. I mean, people were talking about, again, about Montreal getting back Nick Suzuki and not being able to get an Eric Bronstromer or Cody Glass. I mean, Josh Norris should be a solid NHLer. Balcers, we'll see. Chris Tierney is a solid middle 6 option. Dylan DeMello, strong third pairing option. But for Erik Karlsson, you have draft picks. You don't quite know where they're going to line up, but you might want to hope that it works out. And maybe this is what Eugene Melnyk was talking about. Maybe he just got confused when he said that they had picks in year 4, 5, and 6 coming up. Maybe he just got confused and said, oh, well, in the first 3 years, we do have a ton of picks. Because, hey, guess what? You do now. You do now. Whether or not you do anything with it, who the hell knows? I, as a Bruins fan, wouldn't bet on Eugene Melnyk. Eugene Melnyk run franchise. I wouldn't bet on Pierre Dorion. I wouldn't bet on that franchise being able to turn this into a positive, because it's only going to get worse. You're going to lose Stone. You're going to lose Duchesne. It's a disaster. That's what it is. It's a decent return. It's a pretty good return. A pretty good return for Erik Karlsson, where if you didn't botch it, you never would have been in a position to trade him. And it is very similar to the Montreal deal in that way, in that, sure, you deserve a little bit of praise, I suppose. You know, this return, depending on the picks, might end up being half decent. But had you played your cards right, you never know, you just might, have been able to keep a team together and keep Erik Karlsson in town. Instead, we have witnessed one of the biggest falls from grace in the history of the league. How many teams have fallen off the cliff this sharply, this quickly? From being 1 goal away, and I'm Sens fans, I'm sorry, but from being 1 goal away from the cup final to this, it's history. It's historic in that way. But I feel like I have the same opinion as everybody else. It's just wondering what the hell's gone wrong in Ottawa, even though we know the answer, and it starts at the top. I'm sorry. I'm sympathetic towards Sens fans, of course, because, hey, you know what? Along the way to getting to that situation in the Eastern Conference Final, you beat the Bruins, and that sucked. But just, again, what are you supposed to say? The majority of people have the same opinion of, holy hell, San Jose, they gave up quite a bit, but they didn't give as much up as they should have. And again, does Pierre Dorion deserve credit for at least getting something for Erik Karlsson instead of having him walk free? Maybe, but probably not, considering you never should have had your team be in a situation where the thought of losing Erik Karlsson was even a thing. So I don't know. San Jose, for them, again, upper echelon with Karlsson, whether Francis Perron ever becomes anything, I suppose it doesn't really matter. The big thing now, is, of course, is whether or not they end up re-signing him. Now, who knows? A year from now, maybe we're looking back at this trade and saying, Erik Karlsson signed with Ottawa. He went back. It's fine. Or maybe by the time this video is published, Erik Karlsson would have, already re-signed or, signed a deal with San Jose. I don't know. I don't. I sat here and I'm like, okay, well, I have all night to sit here and think about what I want to say. No, I have the same opinion. It's a train wreck for Ottawa. Again, Norris should be a good middle six guy. Tierney's already a pretty decent middle six guy. Balcers, DeMello, and then the draft picks. But again, not having to give up a Timo Meier, not having to give up a Ryan Merkley. Just how? And it all goes back to just Ottawa is just in such a bad spot. And I know someone's going to ask as to whether or not I think they might end up relocating. I don't know. I mean, I don't see that team. I mean, if they do relocate, they got to go to Quebec, right? But I don't know. Maybe this is the start of that new era that Mr. Melnick was talking about, the rebuild. If you can get that arena built in downtown Ottawa and just try to pick up the pieces, then yeah, maybe everything will be okay. But you got a long way to go. You got a long way to go because you are, without a doubt, in the basement of the league. And that's all there is to say. I'm sorry that I can't claim to have had a totally unique opinion or a unique take on this, but it's because there really isn't room to have one. I mean, yeah, I suppose you could go on a hot take and be like, well, actually, this isn't that bad. And it's not just because Erik Karlsson was going to leave for free and they got something for him. No, it's because of this reason. Like, no. It's a disaster for Ottawa. And San Jose fans, you have every right to be pumped. You have every right to be excited because this is more than enough in terms of what you needed to get back towards the top tier. And I got to be honest, out of the Western Conference, Joe Thornton's still there. I'm rooting for you. I am rooting for you. And we'll see what happens. But the West, we went from the West being dominant to the East Coast for a couple of years being leading the way in terms of the superior conference. It's the Western Conference again. And it's going to be very fun to see how this plays out. And of course, with the shitty playoff structure, we're going to get, the Vegas against San Jose matchups. We're going to get the Winnipeg and Nashville matchups again. It's going to be a dogfight. I think if I had to bet on who's going to win the Stanley Cup, it's going to be a team from the Eastern Conference because whoever the hell makes it out of the West is just going to be they're going to be on borrowed time. I don't see how they possibly compete once they make it out of that conference. I just don't see it. But yeah, overall, guys, I'm going to end it here because otherwise it's just rambling onward. I mean, God damn it, Ottawa. God damn it. I do want to know your opinion, though. Do you have a different opinion, or are you in line with me and the majority of people who are just like, wow, what an absolute mess? Let me know down in the comments below, of course. I do have a video out as well talking about the Pacioretty trade, if you missed that. I also have a video out talking about the fact that we hit 10K subs. There is the whole thing of, I guess I'm doing a 10K sub Q&A to start at the very least, so check out that video. Comment down below and such if you have anything to contribute for that. And of course, thank you guys for the support as always. Damn. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.